What was dismissed as myth may hold unanswered questions. Join us as we unseal the UFO files and explore the mysteries for yourself.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
You know, for as long as humans have been looking up at the sky, we've been seeing things we simply couldn't explain. Pop culture is just completely saturated with ideas of flying saucers and secretive government cover-ups. But what actually happens when we strip away the Hollywood scripts and look directly at the hard, declassified data? Well, in today's Explainer, we're going to unseal the actual government records behind decades of unidentified flying object mysteries, and we're going to separate fact from fiction.
We're going to break this all down into 5 quick parts today. Decades of UFO investigations, military encounters in the sky, inside the declassified files, the modern security focus, and finally, myths versus current evidence.
Let's jump right into part 1, Decades of UFO Investigations, the early search for answers.
So, when I say UFO, your mind probably jumps straight to, little green men. But if you look at modern government documents, you'll see a newer term, UAP, which stands for Unidentified Anomalous Phenomena. Regardless of which acronym you prefer, we aren't talking about science fiction here. We're digging into the actual paper trail, formal government reports, official military records, witness statements, and structured investigations into unexplained sightings.
Starting back in the 1940s, there was this massive surge of public reports about mysterious objects overhead, which basically forced governments to officially start collecting sighting data. That led right into the 50s and 60s, where we saw huge, highly organized efforts like the United States' famous Project Blue Book. This was a sprawling initiative that systematically investigated thousands upon thousands of these active cases just to figure out exactly what citizens were seeing up there.
And what did those early investigations actually find? Well, as analysts really dug into the data, a lot of those thrilling mysteries quickly deflated into perfectly ordinary things. We're talking commercial aircraft, runaway weather balloons floating off course, bright planets like Venus playing tricks on the eyes, or just simple optical illusions misidentified by folks on the ground.
Now, a tiny fraction couldn't be solved. But here's the fascinating takeaway. Actually, the absolutely crucial point here. The primary reason these cases remained unexplained wasn't because they somehow defied the laws of physics. It was simply because there wasn't enough solid data to draw a definitive conclusion. A blurry, out-of-focus photograph or a vague description just doesn't give investigators the hard evidence they need to categorize it. Which brings us to Section 2, Military Encounters in the Sky, when professionals see the unexplained.
This is where the narrative shifts and gets incredibly compelling. We are no longer just looking at blurry photos taken from somebody's backyard. We have highly credible, documented accounts from active military pilots and radar operators. These highly trained professionals have reported tracking unusual objects that exhibit totally unexpected flight characteristics, moving in ways that seem to challenge our entire standard understanding of aerodynamics.
You might actually recognize some of the famous leaked US Navy recordings by their catchy nicknames: the pill-shaped Tic Tac, the rotating gimbal, and the high-speed Go Fast. These incidents show highly advanced military sensor data locking onto objects that behave in really unusual, seemingly erratic ways. But here is what the official investigations into these specific Navy incidents actually concluded. Yes, these objects were not immediately identifiable from the available data. But, and this is a massive but, that absolute lack of identification does not establish extraterrestrial origins. Simply put, just because the world's most advanced military can't instantly identify a blip on a screen doesn't automatically mean it's an alien spacecraft.
All right, moving on to Section 3, Inside the Declassified Files, what the government actually released.
Over the years, massive amounts of previously classified UFO records have been released to the public. But instead of a smoking gun or a sci-fi movie script, these files are mostly pretty dry bureaucratic paperwork. You're basically reading through transcripts of witness interviews, internal memos passed between government departments, raw radar logs, and technical analysis reports. It's incredibly meticulous administrative work.
So, what's the biggest takeaway from decades of these massive document dumps? Well, despite all the public intrigue, they're a record of an investigative process, not a secret vault of extraterrestrial proof. They generally do not provide any conclusive evidence of alien spacecraft.
Which naturally leads us to a very logical question, right? If we aren't hunting for extraterrestrials, why do governments around the world continue to spend millions of dollars and significant resources investigating these skies? What is the actual goal here?
That brings us perfectly to Section 4, the modern security focus. Why agencies still care. We've really got to contrast the popular myth against the sober reality of the situation here. The media absolutely loves this idea of an extraterrestrial hunt, but zero verified public evidence exists to support that. The actual official position is much more grounded: airspace awareness. This is a highly practical, strict focus on pure national security.
Today, when agencies study an unidentified sighting, they aren't asking, is this from Mars? They analyze these events to check for advanced foreign technology, like say a cutting-edge spy drone from a rival nation. They look for sensor errors or glitches in our own military equipment. Or they investigate whether it's a rare, naturally occurring atmospheric phenomenon that just happens to trick radar. It is entirely about protecting our airspace, not making first contact.
Let's bring it all together in Section 5, Myths versus Current Evidence, separating fact from fiction.
Let's put the absolute biggest public claims head-to-head with the actual verified evidence. Claim 1. Governments have confirmed aliens visit Earth. Reality: zero verified public evidence exists to support this. Claim 2. Every UFO is an alien spacecraft. Reality: most are completely ordinary objects. Now sure, while some cases do remain genuinely unexplained, that lack of data just doesn't equal aliens. And finally, those secret documents we always hear about? The publicly released files show absolutely no confirmed extraterrestrial contact.
It really all boils down to one fundamental truth. Unresolved cases are not the same as proof of extraterrestrial visitors. This is the core logical trap that is so incredibly easy to fall into. But a genuine mystery is just that. It's a mystery.
The factual reality, based strictly on the source material we've unpacked in this explainer today, is that current public evidence absolutely supports continued, rigorous scientific investigation. We should 100% keep looking up, but that same evidence simply does not conclusively demonstrate alien technology or contact.
So knowing that government agencies are actively scouring the skies looking for sensor anomalies, rare weather events, and cutting-edge foreign technology, we really have to ask ourselves, what fascinating, purely earthbound secrets are still waiting to be uncovered right above our heads? The truth really is out there, but you know what? It might be much closer to home than we ever imagined.